What is truth? What happens when events unfold which challenge our understanding? Our beliefs can become a part of us, getting wrapped up in our sense of self. When old ideas are shaken or even shattered, when we are forced to reevaluate, it is often a deeply emotional and difficult process. I consider myself an empiricist, a pragmatic truth-sayer. When I report, I try to give an objective view, which has been focused through the lens of reality, not my personal bias. But today, as a human, as an adopted daughter of Krytan, I feel this dichotomy, the internal war between deeply held truths and the reality presented to me. My sources inside the Priory contacted me shortly after the assault on Divinity's Reach. A cover-up was underway, and many inside the organisation were not happy. There is knowledge the scholars fiercely guard, for what they consider to be the greater good. There are old magics and dark places better left undisturbed, but the suppression of historical evidence, simply because it is politically sensitive, should not fall into this category. On the surface, this seems a rather dry topic, but my editor insisted. My sources were unwilling to give further details until I agreed to cover the story, so I headed to Bloodstone Fen. There I joined a party of scholars sent to collect some human remains. The Great Red Portal, which appeared months after the Maguma Bloodstone exploded, loomed ahead. Bloodstone Fen was still a war zone, but with the aid of General Almora's Soulkeeper, we were able to get to the portal without incident. On the other side, we found a lush cave system, and beyond that was what the scholars called the Bastion of the Penitent. The area had been made safe by a squad of ex-pack soldiers accompanied by Scholar Glenna. They had headed through the portal when it first appeared, thinking they were cutting off White Mantle reinforcements. But the blood-red iris had transported them hundreds of leagues to the north. The scryers placed them deep within the woodland cascade. The squad found no White Mantle, but something far worse. They were confronted with a lidless eye, wreathed in flame, and its guardian. You should recognize its likeness, for it is carved into the architecture of Beadlestone Manor. Glenna and her squad had stumbled upon what looked like a Masat stronghold, watched over by the Eye of Janthea. If you are not familiar with Krytan history, the Eye is an entity which 250 years ago had been used by the White Mantle to identify those with magical potential, marking them for death. The squad destroyed a massive jade construct which guarded the entrance to the Bastion. As its guardian fell, the Eye retreated deeper into the ruins. The group followed and discovered the true nature of this place. Bodies littered the floor, and row after row of broken cells met them. They had found a Masat prison, or perhaps death camp would be a better term for this place. Great spears impaled many of the inmates. Human, Jotun, and perhaps even a forgotten had been held and murdered here. The soldiers had tried to explore further, but were confronted with the foul thing which had slain the prisoners. The massive spears it wielded were proof enough of its guilt. None had seen its like before, or the powerful magic it commanded. Somehow the beast had enthralled two inmates, a human and a Jotun, and forced them to attack the squad. The war-hardened fighters managed to kill the creature, but were unable to save its captives. The Eye had observed the encounter, and had again retreated as the creature was felled. The soldiers pressed their pursuit of the Eye, and discovered against all hopes a surviving prisoner. The human was bound on a great platform. The squad commander told me he had begged them not to release him, not to break his shackles, but the soldiers were willing to face any danger to save at least one soul from this foul place. It was then the Eye had intervened, casting the commander and his men into a shadowy realm. There they faced the danger the prisoner had warned them of. A dark form attacked them, and when they finally broke free of the realm, it followed them back. It was only then they discovered the man was Saul D'Alessio. He fought by their side until his demonic tormentor was dead. As the last guardian was slain, the eye vanished, and so too did the last embers of Saul D'Alessio's life. With his dying breath, he told his story.
All my fault. The Mossad betrayed us and murdered my men, and then dragged me to this terrible place. I've been trapped here, tormented by my own demons, paralyzed by the shame of selling out my people. The Eye kept me alive, and used my guilt to try to break me down, force me to be the Mossad's puppet. Now, I'm free.
If you had asked me to characterize the founder of the White Mantle, not 24 hours ago, I would have painted him as an apostate and heretic, a murderous wretch who sacrificed his faith and those he swore to protect, leading hundreds of his fellow countrymen to betrayal and murder. Now, looking at the desiccated face of Saul D'Alessio, his mythos crumbles. I do not look upon a monster. His is not the face of evil. I see only a man. The journey of his life led to torment and suffering, but his intention was to protect his people. I walked through a nightmare to reach his body, a place of suffering and torment I was ill prepared to face. Saul D'Alessio has paid the full measure for his crimes. I remind you all, the abductions and murders came after his imprisonment. Those crimes lay at the feet of Justica Hablion. The truth is rarely black or white, good or evil. There are 1,000 shades of grey, and that is where we live our lives, doing what we feel is best, stumbling half-blind in a vast and complex world. We cannot see the chain reaction of our choices. All we can do is try to arm ourselves with knowledge and do what we think is best. Let all those who still hold fealty to the White Mantle know, your order was born of honourable intentions, but corrupted. Put down your arms, end this madness, and reclaim your soul, as Saul D'Alessio tried to. This is Fornax Kingspear, reporting for the Krytan Herald at the Bastion of the Penitent. May the light of knowledge ever be our guide.